We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2083. Today's topic, Jill and I are going to talk about how to make money in the modern construction industry. All week this week, we've been talking about the four major career choices in real estate that you can make. And today's Friday, it's the final one. We're going to talk about construction and development. One of my favorite, one of the hardest to break into. It requires the most money up front, but geez, talk about creating equity for yourself.
True.
Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy Discord forum, Land Academy member Discord forum, and take a deep dive into land-related topics by your request.
Okay, Stanley wrote, "Hi, Land Academy community. I'm having a very difficult time getting into a mailer schedule, as Jack says is necessary all the time. Please share how you all get this done. Thanks in advance."
Sure will.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you know what? Getting into a mailer schedule should be like auto pay for your water bill.
I have one idea, though, that makes it better. Can I share some things? Like,
Please.
I know what you do. If it's really hard for you, it's really time consuming, then do a lot at a time. I would say, you know better. Like a quarter, I mean, you could trust the data for a quarter. So maybe once every 3 months, yeah, it takes you 3 days to do it, but you get into it and it's like 90,000 records or something like that. That you pick the areas, you download, you scrub it, you get all ready, and then you can slot it in. You could even you could send it all to offers to owners if you want, by the way, and tell them, I want 10,000 to go out every week or whatever it is, 8,000 a week or something like that. You could do things like that and at least make it easier for you. I think for a lot of people, some people love Mailer Monday. I know people in Land Academy that do it every Monday, and they have fresh things to look at, fresh ideas, like, they got real time how it worked over here. Now they're going to pivot to this, maybe change this a little bit or do more of that kind of thing and send out the next mailer. But I think a lot of people, it's hard, it's daunting, it's a big process. So I'd say do it less often, but still have a schedule of that, whether it's every 90 days or every month, and make it easier on yourself and just get it done, because you can't get anywhere if the mail doesn't go out.
I think reading between the lines here, the real root of this question is, what do you look forward to in life? I know for a fact Jill looks forward to doing real estate deals.
I do.
And that she doesn't feel in the right place in the world when she's not reviewing a bunch of deals all the time.
It's true.
And so I love that. It makes my life really easy. All I have to do is send the mail out. So I love real estate deals too. I love that she wants to review real estate deals. And so it becomes, it's not even about the money for us anymore. It's just like we don't feel right in the world unless we're doing real estate deals.
I get in trouble sometimes. Like, look, I know all you want to do is right now just get a deal done. What are you doing? I'm like, that's how I am.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point. So you're saying what's important to you and then tie it to that?
If you think about in your life, take a few steps back and forget about this mailer, stuff that you hate to do and stuff that you love to do and love the outcome and love whatever's involved in it and the feeling that you get when it's over or while it's happening, that's what you're going to do. Ultimately, you're going to do stuff that makes you feel great. I love getting a land deal done. So does Jill.
Yeah. It's perfect.
So, what is some stuff that you hate to do in your regular life?
Clean.
Okay, good. Do you do it?
No.
That's a great example. She hires it out.
Yeah.
Hire your mailer out if you don't like it.
Yeah.
That's what offers to owners is for.
I was thinking that at one point. Yeah, you could just do the part that you have to do. Pick the areas, do the trolling, but the minutia of it, let somebody else do it.
If you're old enough to remember when you had to pay your utility bills by writing a check and putting it in an envelope, or if you're old enough to have to go there and pay your water bill and stand in line, that's an outrage when you think about that now. I hated it then. What do I do now? We have auto pay. I don't have to do it anymore.
True.
If you don't like doing the mailer, look, your land career will never work unless you get the mail out.
True.
And get it consistently out, just like you're saying in the question.
Uh-huh.
Jax talks about it all the time. Here I am talking about it again.
Yeah.
You got to make it so it's just mechanical and you're not thinking about
I
it.
have one other idea. If it's really holding you back, Stanley, think about getting a partner. What are you good at? And what do you like to do? Like, hey, I want to be in this business. I understand it all. I love everything. The data and the mail just is, I can't handle it. But I'll answer all the phones. I'll set up a team. I'll do this. I'm great at due diligence. I can get money. I have money. Just maybe bring in a partner. That's my other big fallback. And there's nothing wrong with that. And you could do really well.
A couple of days ago, we took a question from Chris, and they said, here's our background and we're real excited about. We're 60 days in and we're excited.
Yeah.
And their background was math and STEM-related career. And they owned and own companies. So that doesn't happen on accident. It doesn't happen by getting up in the morning and deciding what you want to do that day. That's the killer. That is the killer of all success. You have to get up in the morning and look at your calendar, the one that you populated, not somebody else.
True.
Populated the stuff that you got to do that day, that week, and that month to get to your end goals. And doing a mailer is part of that. And if for whatever reason that you're not wired that way, you need to either get somebody in your life who is wired that way,
Or make some changes.
or get a really good W-2 job, because that's about it.
There you go.
Today's topic, how to make money in the modern construction industry. I love construction. I don't like being involved in it, but I love the result.
I don't like hearing it next door, but it's pretty to look at.
Think about how many jobs are involved. We're in Phoenix, and that's not an accident.
Yeah.
I moved here in the early 90s, and very, very quick for a job. Very quickly realized how everything was growing by leaps and bounds. Really inexpensive housing. Industry was growing here, and very quickly bought some real estate land, specifically, and flipped it fast, and realized that's what I want to do. And I was flipping all this land to people who are going to build on it. Construction industry in a high growth area like Phoenix or Las Vegas or Miami is amazing. Jill grew up in Southern California, the construction development center of the universe during our childhood years.
It does make me feel good. Even now, when you and I drive around, I see areas. It makes it like, look, it's positive. There's money here. There's things happening. It's good. So I do like seeing it.
There's almost limitless career opportunities in construction.
Right.
At the tip top, there's the developer who decides to build a hospital and lease it to Mayo.
Okay.
At the very bottom, there's a kid out of high school who wants to be a bricklayer or wants to be a finished carpenter and gets into a program where they can do that, and every single thing in between.
True.
Construction is amazing. Here's the thing, and I put modern in this title today, modern construction, for a reason. Construction now, we're in this little bubble. And this has happened. This is the second or third time in my career that it's happened where we are buying constructed assets for substantially less than the replacement cost is. So we're buying houses. Jill and I just came down from the mountains. We looked at houses really regularly in certain places that are $100 to $200 a square foot, including the land. Most of the time, we're looking at assets where the land cost, the modern current land cost, it meets or exceeds the actual cost of the entire completed project, an old house, let's say. So it's weird right now because interest rates are so high, and now's the time to really take advantage of that. So for us as investors to take advantage of what's happened and what is happening now with construction, because construction is so expensive. You can easily look on the MLS. You can buy a finished product for $200 a foot, where it would cost $400 to $500 without the land to replace it.
Yeah.
When you really think about that, especially if you're real comfortable with money and numbers, really spreadsheet that out and make it part of your trolling effort.
Okay.
It's staggering.
So based on what you're telling me, I just want to clarify here. I'm in the modern construction industry, and which is a little bit upside down, is what you're describing.
Well, it's expensive as hell to build something right now.
That's what I'm saying. So how do I make money?
By looking for property that is half of the replacement cost of something new. And you don't have to look very far.
Do I rehab it?
It's up to you. You know, it's the same old story. You want to get as much bang for your buck as you can. You want to find a circumstance where someone has to or wants to sell it below its market value.
Okay. Can I do it with mail?
Yeah. Or you're asking for not you. You know.
Not asking for me. You're hilarious.
I'm like, where did my girl go?
Yes, I was asking these strategic questions for a reason, babe. I know the answers.
If you can buy a completed, remodeled, just use houses as an example.
That's funny. Good thing it's the Friday show. Jeez.
You can buy a completed, remodeled house in a neighborhood that's acceptable to you for $200 a foot, and it costs $400 to replace it. $400 just in sticks and bricks cost, just construction costs without the land. You're winning. Mm-hmm. It's upside down like that because interest rates are a disaster. They're so high.
Yeah.
And it happens so quickly. In the last 24 months, we went from, maybe a little more than 24 months, went from 3% to 7 or 8%. Mm-hmm. And that's the result. That's the result of printing too much money, inflation, and monetary policy. Yep. That for whatever reason, our politicians don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Guess how we know all this?
Because we're capitalizing on it. That's my answer.
Yeah. Well, and too, thank goodness we know how to buy things really, really cheaply, because unless you're in this every day, you don't see it happening. You could accidentally hey, I got this. Isn't cost to build, I don't know, $100, $200, I remember easy $100, $150 a square foot, right? And now it
was $100 a foot forever.
Different. That's what I'm trying to say.
Replacement cost.
And now if you have not been paying attention, and you just try to step back into this and do it, you're going to be like, what just happened? What do you mean it's $450 a square foot to build? Yep. Stuff's changed.
Inflation causes that. Mortgage rates cause that. And the result of it is what people love to talk about, affordable housing and lack of affordable housing. And it's not because of evil landlords or this. Everybody loves to blame landlords and people moving from California into, other central states and jacking up the price of everything. And that's just not the case. When you go from 3% to 7%, no one can afford it.
No.
Bringing a bunch of equity in from another state doesn't help, but it's not the real culprit. The real culprit is monetary policy.
Thank you.
There's a ton of ways to make money with construction. If you're really new and want to get into real estate, just join a construction crew and watch a house go up. And I did that for one summer, and I'm sure, I don't know how exactly, but I'm sure it shapes what the choices that we're making. One of the things I learned about construction is it's hard. True. And it's grossly overregulated, in my opinion. Most places, especially in cities. So it's expensive. Mm-hmm. Regulation is very expensive. It also keeps people from dying off of balconies, but there's a happy medium.
Good.
Join us next week for 5 more interesting episodes. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
We are Jack and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.